My name is Stéphanie Michaud and I'm President and CEO of BioCanRx, a not-for-profit that invests in the development of immunotherapies, taking them all the way to clinical trials in Canada. Unfortunately, we have a significant issue in Canada with taking our own made-in-Canada discoveries all the way to a clinical trial. And this is very much the raison d'être of BioCanRx. We were launched in 2015 to address the gap that exists between bringing a new discovery all the way to a clinical trial, what is commonly known as bench to bedside translation. So what this involves in cancer immunotherapy and these different types of products are typically biologics. It involves supporting the biomanufacturing. It involves supporting toxicology, pharmacology, to inform what a regulatory dossier submission is going to look like for Health Canada, so that we can then get authorization from them to launch a clinical trial in the country and then and begin to treat patients. What needs to change is really our understanding of what it takes to bring a discovery all the way to a clinical trial. We all want clinical trials to be happening, but in order to reach that goal, we need to understand that there is a middle part that needs to be supported and coordinated and funded. That is the only way, because it is the only path and it must be traversed to get to the ultimate goal of launching a clinical trial in this country. The type of work that I'm describing is work that commonly falls in this area of research that is called the Valley of Death. And it's called this because it's very difficult to get funding. It's very difficult to get private funding. It's very difficult to assemble the right teams together to actually fill out what documentation the regulatory authorities are going to need to approve a clinical trial application. All of these activities are activities that need to be coordinated and funded effectively to fund this kind of work. BioCanRx plays a pivotal role in terms of being able to augment the number of clinical trials that are taking place in Canada, because we're one of the few organizations in the country that funds the work that is necessary to file a regulatory dossier, a clinical trial application with Health Canada. We also support biomanufacturing and a variety of different core facilities across the country to enable, for example, analysis of the readouts of clinical trials, GMP biomanufacturing of cells, of viruses that are needed to advance the field of cancer immunotherapy. So the activities that we fund are all of the activities that are needed to be able to go knock on the door of Health Canada and engage with them to eventually have the opportunity to launch a clinical trial in the country. So it's that necessary middle that needs to happen before we can even engage with our regulators and ask the important question about whether or not this project could be launched as a clinical trial in our country. We partner with cancer charities and patient groups to help inform what our research program is going to look like. We also partner with other government entities like CIHR. We also support quite a few companies in advancing their projects closer to the clinic. The ethos of BioCanRx and what drives us every day is to increase the number of clinical trials that are based on Canadian technology here in Canada. And number two, and equally important, are the number of patients that are able to access these therapies. The types of activities that we carry out are de-risking activities, and these are the same activities that would be carried out by a company. So we're able to attract partners from industry, both large and small, including international pharma, to be partners with us in advancing this great field of cancer immunotherapy here in Canada. I think a goal of everyone that we work with is to see these types of products eventually make it to a marketing authorization, which is a difficult, arduous endeavor to carry out in any jurisdiction, but especially so in Canada. Being able to say that this is the goal, and in the case of BioCanRx, number of clinical trials in Canada, number of patients that have been treated, and really looking to better coordinate the research that we carry out to achieve that result and that mission of accelerating the development of immunotherapies for the treatment of cancer is critical. I think that this model absolutely can and should be expanded to a number of different disease areas. And why? For the simple reason that it works.